I'd like to call to order the Lee County Board of Education regular meeting for Monday, January 10th, 2021 to order. At this time, I'll ask Mrs. Ford to please give our invocation.
Heavenly Father, this is a new year, and we are looking forward to all the possibilities. We ask for your presence in our meeting today. Help us engage in meaningful discussions as we make decisions that will affect our students, our parents, our faculty, and the community. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Thank you. Okay, on behalf of the board, we would like to welcome you to tonight's meeting. Thank you to those who are here and those who will participate. And we would also like to recognize those who are here as applicants to fill the District 5 seat. We look forward to meeting you. You have tonight's agendas before you. If there are no adjustments, we can adopt by consent. Good. Okay. Okay, the first thing we will review are the financial report from November 2021. The financials have been included in your board package for tonight meetings. Dr. Miller, are there any items that require additional attention or explanations?
No, ma'am. I'm going to speak about SPLOS collections
Okay.
in my reports, but nothing of note.
Okay. Is there a motion for approval of the November 2021 financial report?
Make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Ford. Is there any discussion or questions over the financial report?
I have a question. I've noticed that the after-school program kind of continues to keep a relatively high balance, and I'm assuming that the after-school program is in essence paying the salaries, you know, the proceeds from the parents and the guardians are paying the salaries of those, and yet we kind of have a balance in there that's, you know, close to 200,000. I was wondering, and I do realize I've asked this question before, I know that it rolls over into the general fund, but is there a possibility that we could maybe reduce the cost of what we charge the parents to
Well, we use
participate?
that money to fund, you know, projects for the school in the summer. So it's at the board's discretion, I mean, but we do use that money to fund other projects of the system.
Okay, it just kind of seems like a good bit of money that's in there, and that will be another time, but that was the one thing I had a question about.
The CARES money's helping that balance stay there.
Oh, you're putting,
No. We're using the CARES money for other projects that some of that.
oh, and so you're able to use that instead of the money?
Yeah, because that money has no restrictions on it like the CARES does. So we're buying a lot of stuff with CARES money that we didn't have the money for in the past.
That would be used for that, okay.
In the past, many times that money was used to purchase technology, to upgrade, replace Chromebooks, or
Put carpet in the summer.
projects like that. And so some of those projects have been able to be funded through ESSER or ARP funds, and so there's been less of a strain on that particular source. But we can certainly look into that.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion or questions? We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion passes unanimously. The next item will be approval of the minutes from the prior month, December 2021, 13th. I will entertain a motion for the approval of those minutes for December 13th, 2021, regular board meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
I do. I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the December 13th, 2021 Board of Education meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any discussion or questions on those minutes? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. All opposed? And and the motion passes unanimously. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda, and you have tonight's consent agenda before you. Dr. Miller, would you like to speak to tonight's agenda?
Yes, ma'am. The consent agenda is routine for this time of the year. We have 7 recommendations, 2 reassignments, 3 resignations, and 3 corrections to a previous agenda, as well as a single request to raise funds and 6 overnight or out-of-state field trip requests.
Is there a motion to approve the January 2021 consent agenda?
Make a motion to accept.
Is there a second? Are there any discussion or questions over the agenda? Being none, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. All opposed? The motion passes unanimously. Next, we have the superintendent's reports, and I will turn it over to Dr. Miller.
We'll begin tonight with the SPLOS report, which is outstanding. December 2021 was the highest month ever for SPLOS collections, coming in above $400,000, which is the 8th time overall and the 5th time just in 2021. December collections were $436,517.55, which is great news and really good for our school system. So very thankful for that and for what that'll mean for our students as we apply that to capital projects. Student health services, you have your nurses report included in your file, but I want to say a few words here about COVID developments. Since the last week of December, we've had two huge developments. First, the CDC changed protocols, which we've adopted as a part of our system's multi-layer mitigation strategies. And then second, last Thursday, I received a letter from the Department of Public Health and Governor Kemp. And basically the letter said that educators who are exposed to COVID may return to work if they're asymptomatic, as long as they wear a mask. And it does not matter where the exposure occurred or when they were vaccinated, because under the new CDC guidelines, it differentiated between the last year or the last 6 months, and that had an impact on the return of the educator. This is a tremendous help for us to help us keep school open and keep it going. I will say, though, that our cases in the community are increasing. I don't know if you've looked at the heat map. It was updated today for the first time since last week because of the backlog of cases in the new year, that we are at the number of cases per 100,000 for 14 days. That's our metric we kind of look at based on our levels of intervention, our multi-layered levels of mitigation. We were at 847 today, which would put us up into that level 4, meaning we'll probably be seeing a temporary mask requirement for everyone, students and staff. Right now, we've had school for 5 days in 2022. We've not had a single day where we were not short of substitute teachers to cover all the classes. And today we had 3 bus routes that we could not cover, even with all the mechanics and the office personnel that were available to pitch in and help cover the routes. So our goal is to keep our schools open. We think that's the best place for kids to be, but to get through this 5th surge that we faced since 2020, March 2020, we may need to go to those we will need to go to those level 4 strategies, and I'm going to be talking with our leaders about that, and we'll get word out to parents and give them some time to get ready. And I just wanted to update the board on that and let everyone know where we are. I didn't know if the board had any questions about that. I know we've all discussed this individually, but okay.
So we're considering moving from in the classroom to virtual again? Is that what you're saying?
No, ma'am. Our goal is not to have to do that.
We're
And
just going to put masks on.
we think this will maybe at least mitigate to some degree us having to make that kind of call. I know one school in our area, I heard today, made the change to virtual temporarily. And then I've spoken with other leaders in our area, and we're all seeing a rise in cases. That's a good question. Any other board members have a question? Okay. Moving right along, our school food service team is doing a great job. Appreciate them. They served in December, which is a short month of school, really. 65,507 meals when you combine breakfast and lunch together. And we appreciate their hard work. Transportation, we talked about them briefly. They are doing, they're working real hard in cleaning, wiping, and sanitizing the buses regularly. They also fog them once a week. Face coverings are required on the school bus, as they have been really going back to the beginning of the pandemic. We've been hit hard by the virus, but they're working diligently to get our students safely to and from school. Plant operations is very busy. Y'all have a report. We couldn't get the projector to cooperate tonight, so the guests cannot see what's on that report, but you see some of the projects they completed. One of the really interesting projects they did right before Christmas was we had a 1985 trailer that was falling apart, and they went in and totally redid it for our FFA program as their equipment trailer, and it looks brand new. It's really, really nice. Really proud of that. Saved us a lot of money doing that in-house. And this past week we had a pre-bid meeting for the construction management, correct?
Yes.
And that is with companies that are interested in the construction management opportunity for our upcoming Lee County primary project. So that's moving along, and we're excited about that. Finally, in technology, we have the touch panels are coming in. They've started installing at the largest school, the high school, and they were ahead of schedule the last time I talked to the director of technology. And our staff, our teachers, are training on how to use the panels. Isn't that correct, Dr. Hancock? That was going on
They started
today, I
today,
believe.
yes, sir.
Yeah, so we're excited. That's going to revolutionize what our capabilities are in the classroom. When I started teaching in 1991, I had a chalkboard, and just like you know, and then we moved to whiteboards, and then we had smart boards, and now we're going to have touch panels, and they're going to really be a big impact for our students. A lot of capability, and bring a lot of power to the classroom. Those are all the reports I have. Explain.
Thank you. Are there any further questions on the superintendent's reports? Kevin? The next item on the agenda is the public participation portion. And this is the portion of the meeting where the board invites the public to speak on any matters of concern that they may have. And as there were no requests this week, we will move forward to discussion and action items. In tonight's only discussion and action item of the evening, we will meet members of the public seeking appointment to the District 5 seat left vacant by Frank Griffin's appointment to the State Board of Education. We will meet the candidates only tonight. The board will appoint an applicant to fill the vacant seat during the fall meeting, tentatively scheduled for Thursday, January 20th, 2022. Is that date still?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
As a reminder, the appointee will serve in the vacant seat until the May 24th, 2022 election, and at that time, whoever is elected will fill the seat for the remaining term of that seat. And Dr. Miller, at this time, would you make our introductions, please?
Sure, and if I may, I'd like to just read something. The Lee County Board of Education is required by law, Official Code of Georgia 20-2-54.1, to appoint someone to the District 5 seat who will serve until, quote, such vacancy shall be filled for the unexpired term of office at a special election to be held on the same date as said general election preceding the general election, which in this case will, unquote, which in this case will be held May 24th, 2022. 2022. So a vacancy announcement was posted on December 17th through January 6th, last Thursday. And we have 5 potential appointees. We thank them for their interest, and we're going to ask you to come up and just talk. And I know it's easy for me to say and harder for you to do. We just want you to relax and talk to us. And the board wants to hear from you and get to know you a little bit. So I'm going to call on somebody to start us off, and that's Miss Fran Walls. Miss Fran, if you'll come down, and you can stand there at the podium, and I'll turn it back over to you, Miss Lynn.
Good evening, Ms. Walsh. Hey. Nice to meet you. We've just got a couple of questions. If you want to take about 5 minutes and tell us your answer, tell us your thoughts, just to give us a chance to get to know you and the public to get to meet you. The first question I have is, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and why are you interested in running or being appointed to this seat?
My name is Fran Walls. I drove a school bus for Lee County for 45 years. Jamie was one of my children, Jennifer was one of my children, Mr. Frank was one of my children, and Mr. Miller was my basketball. I drove him on basketball. So a lot of the principals and Mr. Gary, they all know me, and I've lived in Redbone for 70 years. I was born and raised in Redbone. I've had the same bus route. I've been changed several times to different routes, and I love children. Children's my heart. I feel better with children than I do adults. And so I just think that we'll make a point with the children and to help the school board. And so that's just about my life, is being here.
And just aside from COVID, that's very prominent. What do you see as our most important challenges that are facing our system?
The challenge,
What are your concerns?
the kids, and get a good education. I want to say that. And I've had many kids that are doctors, lawyers, and they come back and tell me, Miss Fran, you was part of my life. And I felt like I was. I felt like I raised them. But I just want to see the kids get a good education. And Lee County is the #1 school.
Anything else? Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And next, we'll have Mr. Clinton Bush. Bush?
Thank you, sir.
Good evening. Same questions. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and why are you interested in this?
So professionally, I'm a software developer. Have been for 11 years now. Went to school in Early County, and then Georgia Southern. So the reason I am interested is one, I think that you guys have done an admirable job handling the COVID crisis. So, you know, my son has stayed in school for the most part. We did have a little spell there, but compared to a lot of schools in the country, I think Lee County has really excelled during this trial. And as far as all the turmoil we've seen politically and other school systems, and watch the news, you know, you're aware of what I'm talking about. I haven't seen any of that in Lee County. I'd like it to stay that way. So that is, you know, my interest is in taking a more active role and ensuring that it stays that way. And we keep our kids in school and keep all of this other stuff out rather than having that distract us from what's really important. And that's preparing our children to go out into the world and be successful.
And again, are there what do you perceive as the most important challenges facing the system today?
At this moment, I think obviously it's the COVID pandemic, and the challenge there is keeping our children in the classrooms. It's been proven statistically that they perform far better when they have that face-to-face instruction. Virtual, it is an alternative, but I don't think it's an equivalent alternative. And so, and then one of my personal interests would be preparing them better to succeed in technical professions. I would like to see that become an option, and when I was growing up, it was everybody needs to go to university, but now I'd like to offer, another option to children, and that's to leave high school prepared to succeed in some technical profession if they choose. So I guess that's something near and dear to my heart as a computer scientist.
What, how many kids do you have in the system?
I have one,
What grade?
second.
Anything else? We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You ready? Okay, next we have Mr. Lee Johnston. Mr. Johnston?
Good afternoon.
Good evening, Mr. Johnson, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in potentially filling this
Well,
seat?
my name is Lee Johnson III, and I've lived in District 5 all my life as well, for 44 years, and grew up and raised. I graduated from Lee County High School in 1996, which it was a great year and great achievements. Since then, I went on to get my master's degree in business administration. I attended American Public University System to earn that degree, and while earning that degree, I made the Dean's List, and I also was inducted in the Honor Society. And I also have, several years ago, I was one of the Albany Herald's 40 under 40 representatives, because I've done a lot of community work. The reason why I want to serve is because I want to work with the community in order to make the students achieve in our local schools. They're doing that now fairly well, and I want to continue doing that as a board member. I hold a strong conviction that public education is very important to our children. Yes, there's private schools, charter schools, and we have our regular public school systems, which is very excellent in Lee County. And then with this seat and the board, you have to make tough decisions all the time. And I'm willing to make tough decisions when necessary. And then since I have a lot of time on my hands, I have that time to devote my full attention to being in that position, which it does require time and energy to do so.
What do you see as particular challenges for this system?
In today's time, I see technology, because everything is going to smartphones, tablets, laptops, and we need our students to be able to, if we have to go back to distant learning, that they will be able to achieve, if they have the proper technology on hand, like a laptop or a tablet, to do their coursework, which I do know that takes money to do so. But that will also help them in the future, when they do go off to college, they will be able to do their core studies at home so they can learn how to not get distracted while trying to do their coursework.
Any questions? We appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nice.
Next, I'll call on Mr. Phil Franklin to lead the board.
I'm Phil Franklin. I've lived in this county since 1971. I'm a banker, been doing that for 48 years. Had 2 children and a granddaughter graduate from Lee County. I have a grandson that's in the 8th grade. And it's pretty much fine. I want to be on the board because I think that I can add some things to that. I see y'all done a great job keeping the school open during the pandemic, and I applaud you for that. And I want to be a part of helping that continue to make this the best school district. It is by far the economic driver of our county, is the strength of our school system. And so we need to make sure we have a strong system.
What do you think our biggest challenges are?
Well, of course, the pandemic right now, keeping the systems open, as other folks have said. Kids are going to learn better in school. And I do think technology has been said earlier too, though. It's changing so fast. I just got a new phone. And that thing is way smarter than I am. And so I think that's, if we can concentrate on technology, that will be a big support to our children.
Comments, questions?
Thank you, Ms. Frank.
And next, we'll call on Miss Leslie Myers.
I've got 4 years of experience ranging from kindergarten to 10th grade. So that's one of the reasons I want to do more involved. I stay at home and I run my own business. And I'm trying to get in so that way maybe I can get more involved with what they have going on.
Why are you interested in this seat? Just
Because I want to be involved in the school systems. I really do. I've seen all aspects. I've seen from working in law enforcement for 7.5 years to working as a teacher and a para there and subs. So I mean, I've seen all aspects of it, and I'd like to be more involved so that we can make it better than what it is already.
what do you see as the biggest challenges?
Everybody says COVID, but I mean, that's what it is. But I mean, I see it because of the background of law enforcement. I see that there are security issues everywhere in all the schools. I mean, I see that kids are bringing in stuff they're not supposed to bring in. I see that there's kids doing things that they shouldn't be doing because, once again, I have teenagers and they come home telling me everything.
Anything else to add? Does anybody have any questions? Again, I thank you so much for your time and your willingness to serve our students. And again, it was a pleasure to meet all of you. And if there are no further questions or business, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. For a motion, is there a second?
Are y'all all Georgia fans?